幅达到150%，探亲的客流也达到了50%，探亲的客流也就达到了150%。
The other 50% will be the passengers visiting their families, and it is one of the top 10 hotlines of the railway lines in the country. Now let's take a closer look at the railway station. You might see that after the passengers they depart the trains, they can go straight to the buses, and it is a very seamless connections between the railway network and road networks. So the connection between railways and roads are so important because Yulin has such a big population, more than 7 million people, but over 70% of these population located in the surrounding counties instead of living in the urban areas. People do not like to take trains because the connecting transport is not so convenient. However, by the end of last year, the connecting routes to the railway network have been substantially strengthened. Therefore, passengers now find it more convenient to travel from local counties to the stations and vice versa. And this is the head of the management office of the connecting routes. And we are organizing the passengers to get from the buses to the railway stations. You can get the tickets through WeChat account, and you can also purchase the ticket on site, or you can even purchase the ticket after you board the train. So during the Spring Festival rush, we have a very heavy burden both in and out of Yulin. There are multiple peaks for passenger flow, and we also made some changes and adjustment to the shifts of buses. We increased from 100 shifts to more than 140 shifts of buses to transport the flow, and we also add more personnel and hands on deck so as to strengthen the seamless connection between trains and buses. This really brought convenience to the local passengers. As you can see, here are the sites that you can take on connecting routes to nearby counties. And these buses and shuttles run back and forth between these counties and the railway stations, and this also facilitates the transport of commodities and passengers and even travelers. To facilitate the travel, you can see a lot of such elevators that will make it more convenient and safer for passengers to travel up down. And after the security check, you can directly enter into the waiting room. For the passengers who travel with major packages, it will be more convenient for them. You can see that the lines are forming. Hello everybody, again this is CCTV reporter reporting from the Yulin station of Guangxi province, and this is January the 6th of the Lunar calendar, and we are welcoming a returning peak of the passengers. And now we will take you to experience this so-called facial recognition entrance. And this kind of scene usually take place in sci-fi films, and now you can experience this in real life. Let's have an interview of the staff. You're teaching people how to use the facial recognition machine, right? That is true. These facilities only began to be put into use before the Spring Festival, and this for many of the passengers, their first time using this kind of facial recognition ID machine. Put your ticket and your ID into the machine, and you can face this screen. And the camera will give you a facial shot. And the process is complete, and you can take and leave with your ID and your ticket. So it's quite easy and simple steps. You need to first insert your ID and ticket, and then experience this facial recognition steps. There are a lot of passengers waiting, and this kind of facial ID process can expedite the process of entrance and ticket checking. And we have now six facial ID. If you're traveling with your driver's license or passport, you can go through this so-called green channel or expedited channel. So to avoid any inconvenience, please make sure that you have your ID with you. After the ticket checking point, we will go straight to the security checkpoint. Let's take a look at the situation of the waiting area. Please make sure that you have all your belongings with you and put them into the security check machine. And you can see that there are now 3 security check machines instead of the previous 2 machines. Besides each machine, there are 5 station staff helping with the security check. And also there is the handling desk over here. Therefore, in order to expedite the security check process, there are also more hands on deck in the Spring Festival rush. There are a lot of people in the waiting area. From this angle, you can take a closer look at the station. There are 2 floors, and there's a big screen showing the different numbers of trains and the times of arrival and departure. And there are also videos teaching the passengers how to use the ticket machine and security check. Let's find out if it's possible to go through the crowd and take a closer look inside. Here you can see some instructions board and pointing the directions to the first floor waiting room and second floor waiting room. After you enter into the waiting area, you need to first check your train, the number of your trains, and see which waiting room you should be in. There are very obvious signs and instructions here in the waiting room, directing you to the right waiting room. You can see some green lanterns and the Spring Festival decorations here in the waiting room. Of course, there are bathrooms and telephone charge stations here in a waiting room. This is the service desk. So what kind of service do you provide? Mainly this is the information desk, and if people have questions, they come to us. And this is also the Lost and Found Center. So what are the frequently asked questions here? They're asking which floor is the waiting room, and also some questions about the tickets. And you also mentioned that you are the Lost and Found Center, so if people have left something in the waiting room, they can talk to our staff and make some registration. And if the belongings is found, he or she can claim these belongings with your ID on hand. If you have any question during the waiting of trains, you can come to the information desk. We also see a medic desk here. So when did the service of the medical center start? Our service started on February the 1st, and we're providing free medical services and medical and health information to the passengers. And we also deal with emergency situation if the passenger is experiencing some discomfort. And we will make some simple procedures and treatments so as to make sure that he or she can board the train on time. So were there any emergencies during the Spring Festival rush? On February the 8th, there was a passenger, a middle-aged woman, who was experiencing some stomachache, and our doctor on duty made some first-hand treatment, and she recovered very quickly and made it on time to board her train and in time for the Spring Festival. So we have prepared some medicines, right? These are some frequently used medicines in this box. Here you can see the cold medicine and some antibiotics, so also medicine for stomachache, diarrhea. So this is mainly for the dealing of some emergencies. We also have some simple procedures to deal with external wounds. So what's this medicine for? This is mainly used for the pulmonary syndromes. Since you are a physician, internal physician, do you have any advice for our passengers? Because there are a lot of people and there's accumulation of crowds. Therefore, respiratory conditions happen very often. So for passengers, you please make sure that you keep yourself warm and the sanitation of your diet. And also ensure that you have enough sleep. Avoid binging. Also to guard against respiratory conditions.
整个玉林车务段4个车站都有医生入驻，也为咱们提供了很多医疗咨询，包括
4 stations of Yulin City, they all set up medical service centers for the passengers. Let's take a look at this trolley here. Hello, what's this trolley for? This trolley mainly provides some transparent tape and some of the tools, scissors, these small tools for the passengers for their convenience. We also have a work log providing this timetable for the trains for the passengers. So if you have any question, they can come to you for help. This is the timetable for the trains. And this is work log. Can I have a look? These are some of the words that is left by the passengers. Some of them are advice and suggestions. We already have 38 of these. I've been working here for over 38 years. And thank you for your contribution and hard work, providing services to the passengers. We are live broadcasting. Can I have an interview with you? Are you returning to your home? We are from Beijing. And how long do you plan to stay at home? And we will stay at home till the 10th, and then we will go back to Shenzhen. We are still trying to get the ticket. And we have made some reservations. And if we can get the tickets, they will send us a notice. So when did you start working in Shenzhen? We've been working in Shenzhen for more than 10 years. Do you still plan to stay there? I think so, for at least 1 or 2 years. And people still have follow very closely the train tickets. We can give you some tips if you're trying to get tickets. If the tickets runs out, you can pay attention to a few time points. After 45 minutes, when the tickets begins to be sold, some of the passengers fail to make the final payment, and these amount of tickets will go back to the ticketing pool, and you can make another try. And also, 1 or 2 days before the actual travel date, some tickets will be returning. Some passengers might cancel their registration online, so that this part of tickets will also be returned to the pool. And according to experience, 10 to 11 p.m. each day will be the peak point for cancellation of ticket reservation. In this travel route, Nanning and Guigang stations are stations that may have more abundant ticket sources than other stations. And also, the Railway Transport Authority might decide to open up a temporary passenger train to release the pressure for Spring Festival. So please follow the website, the official website, for latest updates. This is the ticket checkpoint. You can see a big screen showing the departure time, destination, and other relative information that might be useful to you. So please make sure that you have full knowledge of the information of the train that you're taking. Now we are on a platform. On this train, we have more than 1,200 passengers boarding this train. On each platform, there is escalator as well as lifts, so as to facilitate the travel, especially for passengers with big packages. This is the staff making some handover of work. And this is the chief of the management team of Yulin Station. What measures have we taken to cope with the Spring Festival rush? First, we organize a surveillance team to carry out checks for the machines. And second, we set up and add more personnel at different checkpoints. And also to Chengdu, Shanghai, Beijing, Hainan, we open up more passenger trains routes, transferring and transporting the passengers, and also to satisfy the demand of the passengers. And fourth, we set up massage chairs and also telephone booths and medical services and information service desk at the waiting area so as to provide better services to the passengers. Our goal is to ensure the safe and comfortable travel for the passengers. Thank you for your hard work. Happy Spring Festival. Today, we take you to the bus stations, the connecting routes, the security checks, and the facial ID, and the medical desk. Through our camera, you can experience this kind of very busy but very orderly Spring Festival rush. During the Spring Festival, you can hopefully feel the warmth of the spring. Thank you for watching.